Welcome to the next video in our series about digital emergency response planning. In a previous video, we covered off what 8 roles are essential for an incident team. Today, we'll be looking at what key documents and paperwork is best to support an incident team. I'm recommending 5 document types that I've found most incident teams find most useful and are generally needed in an emergency. The first and most important document is a set of cheat sheets for each role. The role cheat sheet is a very important document in that in an emergency, whatever is on the page needs to be front of mind for the team member. If you've never been involved in an incident or crisis team, it can be quite a challenge to focus on the incident team role. It is too easy to be focusing on what caused the disaster, but this needs to be put aside or compartmentalized. Mobilizing the response team is the task at hand and it needs your primary focus. Things I've found to be useful for inclusion on the cheat sheet are A. Have a précis or a short description of the role responsibilities. B. Checklist of the startup actions. C. Checklist of the ongoing actions. D. Pre- and post-incident actions. E. Location of common documents. In the next video, I will cover off in depth the role checklist. The second most useful document is less of a document and more of a tool. That is, it is a desktop name holder. It may seem odd that I'm recommending a name holder, but their use and value increases as the incident continues on. Basically, the name holders have each of the roles of the teams displayed, and these holders are then placed in a visible spot in front of the team member responsible for that activity or role. Now you may think that who is in what role is already known or is plainly obvious. This is true at the beginning of an incident, especially when the person provides a 1-paragraph description of their role. However, this does not account for those who are running late or if the incident has been running over an extended period and people have or are being swapped out. As a person taking over a role, it is very easy for you to scan the table and understand who you can direct questions or ask information of. The next document for the team is a contact list and details on the conferencing systems. If you've been following this channel for very long, you will know the importance of this list, especially in the initiation of a team. Ensure to include a comprehensive list of the people trained and the most needed in an incident. Depending on the size of the team, you may have to be creative and organize the data in a compressed or optimized format. The fourth recommended document to be supplied and ready for the incident team is a log sheet. It is important during an incident for each person to record and note actions, updates, and directions into a log. This log is then used in the post-incident briefing or may be passed on to your lawyers in a situation in which legal action is taken. Ensuring the time and action of each activity is recorded in real time is the gold standard for the team. However, it does take some practice and discipline to both remember to record the information, but also knowing what information to record. I've worked with many teams who have tried to record this information via computer, but we eventually went back to paper, mainly due to the ability to easily transfer sheets to other people, and also paper is a technology which worked when there was no electricity. Depending on the exact time of the incident, your laptop battery may not be at full charge and only provide you with minutes, not hours of use in an emergency. Thus, paper in this situation is king. The fifth and last recommended set of documents are large versions of diagrams and schemas of the network and buildings. It is always preferable to have an electronic copy of these, especially in PDF format. But there are many occasions in which someone needs to display and describe something via a large drawing. With the building drawings, ensure that at least there is a copy of A. Overall property or boundary map, noting parking, buildings, key features and roadways. B. a copy of each of the floors or areas in which your organization occupies, preferably with an empty shell and one which is populated with the current desks or equipment locations. And C, sometimes people pack copies of photos of each of the premises. These are great. However, personally, I'm yet to see them being used in an incident team. Typically, the cost of maintaining these photos versus the very rare occasions in which they are looked at by the incident team, I would recommend focusing on other higher value documents. These building photos introduce an important concept for these documents and cheat sheets. They all need modification and updating as things change. If I could encourage you to ensure right from the get-go to make sure these documents are as easy as possible to update and distribute. Each of the documents have a different change rate. For example, buildings and property maps change very rarely, so they are ideal to be laminated, especially the A2 or A1 copies. This is not the case for contact lists or infrastructure designs. They are best printed as A3 in a scheduled fashion. That is, a responsible person will check for changes by the IT team and print if changed. So what IT drawings and schemas are useful for the incident team? At a minimum, ensure the team has had a high-level schema of the network and a basic logical diagram of the infrastructure. It is important for these drawings to be simplified and high level, the less technical the team is. Focus on the links and the pathways rather than the detailed drawings of racks or databases. With my own teams, we use the phrase Duplo, not Lego. The incident team needs something very simple and easy to work with, not detailed or intricate. Ultimately, prioritize the documents. I'd recommend printing the frequently used documents like role cheat sheet, logs, and contact lists. Building and network drawings are only needed if the emergency involves those components. Building your capability for emergency is time-consuming and takes practice. Start with the small and have a go. 4. He who is best prepared can best serve his moment of inspiration. If you've found this video useful and like to see more, subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn and Rumble. I look forward to discussing this video further with you in the comments below.